Hey everybody, here's another look at some 251s, and the last couple of videos that I did talked about using 251s and an altered dominant sound. Now I'm going to take a look at a couple different triad options you have for the dominant 7, but the important thing is to look at what the voice leading is doing in each one of these triads when you build a line, and they will tell you what they want to do. The more you dissect the triads into intervals, you'll understand truly how to create really melodic lines. So check it out. So I'm going to start on 251 in the key of C, and for the first chord D minor 7, I'll actually use a D minor 9. Instead of using the D minor triad, I'm going to use an A minor triad, which the A minor contains the A, which is the 5th of the D. It has the flat 7, the C, and it also has the 9. So you've got those. Now when I go to the dominant 7, I'm going to play this sound, which is going to be a G7 sharp 5 or G7 flat 9 sharp 5 or sharp 9. For the first time I'm going to use an E flat, and then I'm going to resolve on from my C major 9 a G major. So here's what it sounds like in context. So that's the sound that you have using that. If you notice, whenever I play these triads, I'm trying to break them up in different intervallic combinations, because the more you do that, the more you'll understand how to build melodies. I mean, building melodies is not that easy to do. It's not just playing scale notes and playing stuff randomly. You have to really listen to what each note emotes, and everybody's going to hear something a little differently. So if you notice, I start on the top note, went to the bottom note, and then I outline the chord that way. But I could also do just the same, the opposite, or I could start in the middle. And I can use just the top notes of the triads. For instance, if I use the top of this, I have a third, then it's going to go down to this chord, a fourth, and my resolution, I'm going to invert these notes back to a third. And that sounds kind of nice. So I've got this. If I change the inversion of the triads, let's start up here. Now, I have different intervallic combinations, so what I might do is change the E flat and do something like this. Because that allows me to move upwards. Let's hear it in context with the chords. I can also add a note. Notes to the tops of those little slurs that I did on that G triad. If I resolve now on an E minor, which would be just the major 7, it sounds like this. The last example that I just played, I went up here for this inversion. A minor, E flat, E minor. Now I could have kept that D on top. The last one, of course, playing the G on top for that the major 9 sound. Alright, we'll take one more dominant 7 that we're going to use for the altered dominant. Instead of playing the E flat for that G7, I'm going to use A flat minor. So this is what it sounds like in context. So there's a couple of options right there. I highly recommend that you take just a 2-5-1 like this and play it to get the feel of how those inversions sound when you play a line based on them. And then plug it into a tune. You can change the key because obviously the 2-5-1 is going to pop up in many different tunes. But just get comfortable with hearing how it works so you understand what the altered dominant is doing and how that voice leading is being created by those intervals within the triads. It's a great way to build your lines. You're going to be dipping right smack dab in the middle of the harmony. Break it up into smaller chunks to understand the content, the intervallic content, the triadic content. It's so important to building better lines.